A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. For Zion's sake, I will not be silent. For Jerusalem's sake, I will not be quiet until her vindication shines forth like the dawn, and her victory like a burning torch. Nations shall behold your vindication, and all the kings your glory. You shall be called by a new name, pronounced by the mouth of the Lord. You shall be a glorious crown in the hand of the Lord, a royal diadem held by your God. No more shall people call your land forsaken, and your land desolate. But you shall be called my delight, and your land espoused. For the Lord delights in you, and makes your land his spouse. As a young man marries a virgin, your builder shall marry you. And as a bridegroom rejoices in his bride, so shall your God rejoice in you. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Well, it's a bit of a shame that James Peter's not here. He's been bemoaning in our preaching class all last semester that no one ever used props. And I have a prop. So, this can of tennis balls I was given about a year ago at Christmas. And as you can see, I have not opened it yet. Not at all. In fact, every time I've gone to play tennis since then, I've had this can. And I've always had some reason why it's not time yet to open up the new can of tennis balls, these new perfect ones that should be used. But instead, I use this one, which is old, flat, dirty, and really awful. No good for playing tennis at all. But there's always a reason why it's not quite time yet for the new one. I think that's really a terrible way to receive a gift, to just put it aside, taking up space on my closet floor. And that was a big point of learning this past summer that I had in Indonesia, because it's a gift-based culture. They give and give and give to show their love. And we were confronted right away with the question of how on earth are we going to respond? The first phrase we had to learn was terima kasih, which means thank you. And it was very, very helpful because people were showering things upon us throughout the trip. And it's an interesting phrase, terima kasih, because it doesn't quite translate to the same words or even the same idea in English. Literally, it means, I accept your love, which is a very different idea there. In fact, we were challenged by an Indonesian woman whose husband is an American citizen, that you Americans, you always want to do something for someone when they give you a gift. We do something nice for you, you want to respond. You want to write a thank you card, you want to do something back. Can't you just accept and enjoy what we're giving you? Now, right now, we're exiting the Christmas season. We've been reflecting on this great gift of God with us, becoming man, the incarnation, being able to enjoy God, knowing God in this way. And we hear Isaiah saying, you who were forsaken are now my delight. You who were desolate are espoused. That's a pretty unfathomable gift. In fact, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I bet if Dave Delich were here, he would give it a top 10, definitely. And so how are we to respond? How are we to answer this gift? And it's shockingly easy to treat grace like a can of tennis balls. To put it aside on the closet floor and leave it for the right time. To think, I'm working on this paper and I've got to find just the right answer. When maybe prayer, maybe talking with a brother might be a better road. Or to think, I've got to find the right preaching, I've got to run the parish the right way, I know how to do this, I can figure it out, God, I'll find you when I need you. Or to say, this is the cross that I'm bearing right now. I have this struggle, and we can be very quick to say, this is the thorn in my flesh that I just have to endure. When perhaps that's not the case at all. Perhaps God is quite willing to help us through it, to take it away. Not always, but we can be very quick to assume that we just have to endure things. Or perhaps even easier, to look at our venerable saints, to look at a St. Dominic, St. Martin, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, and just admire them. God, look at what the great things you have done in them. Without also saying, you know, God, there is no reason you can't do in me what you did in them. None whatsoever. In fact, you want to, and who am I to stop you? Because that is this incredible gift we're being offered. God is saying, I want to delight in you. You are my joy. You are my beloved. You are my spouse. I'm choosing to delight in you. And how are we going to respond? I hope and pray for each of us the answer is, yes, Lord, I accept your love.